the petitioners in CAPC 05, that is Article's case, which result was also tendered by both sets of petitioners and respondents. So I take first Abia State. There, second respondent, the alleged favored candidate of INEC, for which it was said to have shut down his IREV to manipulate results, only garnered a miserly 8,914 votes. That is as against the Labour Party, which by INEC's declaration polled as many as 327,095 votes. Even the other set of petitioners, complainants, the PDP and its candidates, scored more votes in Abia than INEC's purported favored candidate. He also scored 22,676 votes in Abia and was so recorded by INEC. Those votes alone are close to 3 times the votes of second respondent, for whom INEC was said to have manipulated results by closing down its IREV, so that the public would not witness its manipulative activities in favor of second respondent. In Enugu State, the same favored quote-unquote candidate, second respondent, was again declared credited by INEC to have polled only 4,772 votes in the entire state. Meanwhile, the Labour Party and its candidate were again declared by manipulative and quote-unquote and unfriendly INEC to have scored as much as 428,690 votes in that state. In the same Enugu, PDP and its candidates was also declared by INEC to have polled 15,745 votes, a number that is also nearly 3 times the votes of the so-called favored second respondent. In Anambra State, the same purported favored candidate, second respondent, was declared by his alleged friend INEC to have scored only 5,111 votes. Meanwhile, the Labour Party, whose candidate, first petitioner in CAPC, I must take judicial notice of, via Section 124 of the Evidence Act, is from that state, again was declared to have polled as much as 584,621 votes. Again, like Enugu State, the PDP and its candidate was declared by INEC to have polled 9,036 votes, a number that is also nearly double the votes of, quote, INEC favored, end quote, second respondent. In neighboring Delta State, the same INEC favored candidate, second respondent, was declared by INEC to have scored 90,180 votes. That is as against the Labour Party and its candidate, which is credited by the same biased, quote unquote, INEC, to have scored as much as 179,917 votes. In that same Delta State, the PDP and its candidate scored 161,600 votes, again nearly double the votes of second respondent. In Adamawa State of the PDP and its candidate, the same favored second respondent was declared by INEC to have scored only 105,648 votes, while the PDP and its candidate were declared by the biased, quote unquote, INEC to have scored as much as 214,012 votes. In Imo State, the same purported INEC favored candidate, second respondent, was declared by INEC to have scored only 66,406 votes, while the Labour Party and its candidate is declared by the same INEC to have polled as much as 360,495 votes. In Ebonyi State, the Labour Party again scored as much as 259,738 votes. That is as against alleged INEC favored second respondent, who by INEC's declaration, that is his friend's declaration, again polled a relatively miserly 42,402 votes. The PDP is said to have scored 13,503 votes there. Even in Lagos State, where second respondent was once held sway as elected governor, the Labour Party and its candidate was again declared by bias, quote unquote, INEC to have beaten second respondent with almost 10,000 votes. Labour Party was declared by INEC to have polled 582,455 votes as against 572,606 polled by second respondent and so declared by INEC. It is a similar story in the federal capital territory of Abuja, where INEC has its headquarters and supposedly carried out, directed, all its, quote, manipulative and biased activities in favor of second respondent that petitioners claim he did in the election. Second respondent and his political party still lost there. In fact, by the result, second respondent friendly, quote unquote, INEC declared in the federal capital territory of Abuja, second respondent could not even make 25% of the votes, total votes cast there. He was said to have polled only 90,902 votes. That amounts to just 18.99 1% of total votes cast in the FCT, yet INEC declared that result. That is as against 281,717 votes, amounting to 58.856% of the total votes, the same INEC declared for Labour and its candidate. There are also other states, including Katsina State of the immediate past president of this country, a member of the second respondent, who was still in office at the time of the elections, in fact, as I take judicial notice of video section 124 of the Evidence Act. Here again, second respondent and his party, the APC, also the then sitting president, was declared by the same INEC to have lost to the petitioners in CAPC 05-2023, that is Atiku Abubakar. Now, if all these results declared by INEC for each of the states for the two sets of petitioners and second respondent is anything to go by, then INEC must be an abysmally poor manipulator, if not even an imbecilic one. Surely, it would not go through all the stress of closing down its IREF and blocking the public from seeing its manipulative efforts in favor of second respondent, as alleged by the petitioners, only for it to still end up favoring the petitioners with jumbo votes and posting miserly figures for its favored second respondent. It is said that all men stamp as probable that which they would have said or done under similar circumstances, and as improbable that which they themselves would not have said or done under the same set of similar circumstances. Things inconsistent with human knowledge and experience are properly rated as improbable. End quote. See again Oputa JSC on this, in Onwa and the state and Bozin and the state. At any rate, why did any of the two sets of petitioners not tender even a single polling unit result issued by INEC to their polling unit agents to support their claim of manipulation of election results by INEC, even as they all agreed that they had agents in the polling units? I had thought that this is the best and most effective way of proving the manipulation of election results alleged by them. After all, the polling unit is the only place where voting takes place, and so also constitutes the building block of election results. That much is stated in paragraph 90 of INEC guidelines and for the election, and also Wobuda Nono and Awuse and Odele. In short, the allegation of the petitioners that INEC shut down its IREF to manipulate votes for second respondent just does not add up for me. If anything, the probabilities arising from the results INEC declared nationwide as illustrated above rather seem to me to eloquently support its position that its inability to upload the polling unit results real time, as earlier promised, was not deliberate but caused by technical issues outside its control that afflicted its e-transmission system, which issues it claims made it impossible for its e-transmission system to map the uploaded polling unit results for the presidential election to any specific state. That it claimed is unlike the much smaller National Assembly elections that were conducted simultaneously with the presidential election. It is that phenomena it describes as glitch that was giving it an HTTP 500 error, which eventually resultantly delayed real-time public viewing of the said polling unit results. That conclusion also takes me to another big issue in this case, namely the evidential value of the European Union Observer Mission